Hello, Super Sleuths. I'm Gumshu, and I'll be your deck detective. Deck Detective is a series in which every week I play and discuss a new deck. This week we're covering G-Golem, an archetype of Cyberse monsters featured in the Vrain's anime that are only now coming to Master Duel long after the anime finished. It, like pretty much every other Cyberse archetype, focuses on spamming Link monsters, this time towards its own boss and Invalid Dolmen, alongside other Cyberse staples. Without further ado, let's see the deck list. Here's the list, and yeah, I know it kind of looks like Math Mech, but come on, there's literally 3 main deck G-Golem cards, and one of them kinda sucks. Cut me some slack. So first, we've got a bunch of one-of extenders, Dotscaper. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special on this card. If this card is banished, you can special on this card. You can only use one of the effects per turn, only once a turn, and then each effect is once per duel. A microcoder. If a Cyberse monster you control uses like material for Talker monster, this card in your hand can also use this material. And then if this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard as material for the link summon of a Code Talker monster, you can either add 1 Signet spell trap from your deck to your hand, or if this card on the field is used as material, you can add 1 level 4 Cyberse monster instead. The target for this is Signet Conflict. When a spell trap card or monster effect is activated while you control a Code Talker monster, negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. And if you do, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects of cards with the same original name as that card that was banished until the end of the next turn. Woof. 3 G-Golem Pebble Dog. This card is normal special summoned. You can add to your hand or special summon 1 G-Golem Pebble Dog from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except Cyberse monsters. If this card is sent from the hand to the graveyard, you can add 1 G-Golem card from your deck to your hand. We've got 2 Code Generator. Has the same link summon from hand effect as Microcoder, but if it's sent to the grave as material for the link summon of a Code Talker monster, you can send a Cyberse monster with 1200 or less attack from your deck to the graveyard, or this card on the field was used as material instead. You can add that card to your hand instead. Usually the target for this is Dotscaper, although Sigma is also a decent target as well. Speaking of Sigma, 2 Math Mix Sigma. If you control a monster's reaction monster zone, those cards in your hand or graveyard, you can special on this card, but eventually leaves the field. Also blocks into Cyberse. 3 Mathmech Circulars. You can send 1 Mathmech monster, except Mathmech Circular for deck to your graveyard as cost. Special on this card from the hand, and if you also you can only attack with 1 monster for the rest of the turn. And if a Mathmech monster is normal special into your field, whether you control this monster, you can search a Mathmech Spell Trap. Our target is Mathmech Superfactorial. You can also play Mathmech Equation if you don't want to have Superfactorial lines in here. Superfactorial reads target up to 3 Mathmech monsters in your graveyard with different names, then activate one of these effects, special summon them that their effects are negated. Then immediately after this, either Synchro or Xyz summon a Mathmech monster using those cards as material. We have a Mathmech diameter to search a file version for a normal summon. When this card is normal summoned, you can target 1 level 4 Cyberse monster in your graveyard to special summon it, but it cannot activate its effects. And then a Mathmech monster that is Synchro or Xyz summoned using this card in the field as material gains the following effect. Once per turn during this turn, this card is special summoned. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can negate that effect. And then finally, we have another Mathmech name in Mathmech Edition. You can target 1 monster on the field. Place a monster on the field, you cannot special summon for the monsters from the extra for this turn except Cyberse. Also special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, the target monster gains 1000 attack at the end of the turn. It's a Mathmech name that also serves as a generic Cyberse extender. 3 G-Golem Rockhammer. This card is in your hand. You can discard 1 other Cyberse monster. Reduce this card's level by 2 until the end of the turn. You can tribute this card, special summon 3 G-Golem tokens in defense position. Also, it locks you into Cyberses. 3 Parallel Exceed. If you link summon, you can special summon this card from your hand to your zone that link monster points to, and if this card is normal special summoned, you can special summon 1 Parallel Exceed from your deck. 3 Signet Mining, pitch a card from hand to graveyard to add a level 4 lower Cyberse monster, deck to hand. 3 Small World, you know what this card does. Gravity Balance, this card is always treated as a G-Golem card. Target 2 of your Earth monsters with the same name that are banished from your graveyard, special summon both in a defense position. Negate their effects, change their attack if it's 0, also destroy them during the end phase. If a G-Golem monster you control be destroyed by battle, or an opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. 2 Called By, 1 Cross Out for Maxi outs, 2 Imperm, as along with 3 Ash and 3 Maxi for our hand traps, and then the previously discussed Superfactorial and Sonic Conflict. In the extra deck, we have a Laplation for the Superfactorial. If this card is Xyz summon, you can detach up to 3 materials from it, and choose that many effects. Send 1 random card to your opponent's hand to the graveyard, send 1 monster your opponent controls to the graveyard, and then send 1 spell trap your opponent controls to the graveyard, and then if it was made with diameter, it also gets a negate. Really good. Try Mathmech Alimbertion, 2 level 4s, and then detach 2 to add a Mathmech card for your deck to your hand, usually diameter. Also, sometimes you can also use Exceeds to search Circular. That works as well. A Lingaribo. This is a link 1 for a link level 4 lower Cyberse monster. When your opponent activates a trap card, quick effect, you can trigger this card and negate the card's effect, and if you do, banish it. 2 Cyberse Wicked. This links when a card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Cyberse monsters as card points, you cannot be destroyed by card effects. And if a monster is special summoned to a zone while this card points to, while you control this monster, you can banish 1 Cyberse monster from your graveyard, add a Cyberse tuner from deck to hand, which is Sigma most of the time. The other Sigma, an update Jammer. The important effect here is if this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, that link monster can make a second attack during each battle phase's turn. So if you make this with an access code, the access code can attack twice. A Code Talker inverted. If this card is link summoned, you can special summon 1 Cyberse monster from your hand to your zone this card points to. A Splash Mage, target a Cyberse monster your graveyard special summon in defense position, but it locks you into Cyberses. A Golem Crystal Heart, link 2. You can target 1 Earth link monster in your graveyard special summon it to your zone this card points to, and if you do, place 1 GG counter on this card. This effect isn't really going to come up. 1 G-Golem Stubborn Rainier, link 2. This card is special summon from the graveyard. You can target 1 Earth monster in your graveyard that can be normal special summon under set. Special summon it, or add it to your hand. If it's special summoned, it negates its effects and banishes it when it leaves the field. A Transcode Talker, link 3. While this card is co-linked, it and its co-linked monsters gain 500 attack. Also, your opponent cannot target any of them with card effects. You can target a link 3 or lower Cyberse link monster in your graveyard, except itself, special summon to your zone this card points to. You cannot special summon any monsters except Cyberse monsters the turn you activate that effect. Link 3, Decode Talker Heat Soul. Gains 500 attack for each monster it points to. Quick effect, you can pay 1,000 life points, draw a card. G-Golem Invalid Dolmen, link 3. Co-linked monsters you control are unaffected by monster effects activated on your opponent's field. Note that this is all co-linked monsters, not just this one. All monsters your opponent controls that can attack must attack this card. Then once per turn, you can discard 1 Cyberse monster, draw 1 card, and this co-linked card is destroyed. You can negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls. A Firewall Dragon, link 4. Once while face up on the field, quick effect, you can target monsters on the field and or graveyard up to the number of monsters co-linked to this card to turn them to the hand. If a monster this card points to is destroy battle and send to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Cyberse monster from your hand, hard once per turns. A link 4 Mechanite Crusadia Avermax, 2 monsters special summon from the extra deck, link 4. While this link 7 card is on the field, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, their monsters cannot target monsters for card attacks except this one. Once per battle during the damage calculation, if this card battles a special monster, quick effect, you can make this card gain attack equal to that opponent's monster's attack during the damage calculation only. And if this link summon card you control is sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card, you can shuffle 1 card on the field into the deck. And then finally, an access code Talker. Now that we've done the card by card, let's play some games. We'll play 2 games, one in which I win and I commentate over, one in which I lose and I commentate over. The game is afoot. It's time to duel. Our first game, we win the coin flip, and we're going first. We open up with an okay hand. Let's see what we can do. I normal summon Pebble Dog, activate its effect, and they use Ash Blossom. Well, I could Called by here, that leaves me without a Maxi out. I think we can work with this. So on resolution, Ash Blossom resolves. And then I link Pebble Dog into a Lingaribo. Then use Parallel Exceed's effect in hand to summon out. Then use its effect to summon another Exceed. I overlaid the 2 Exceeds into an Alimbertion. Then use Alimbertion, search Circular. I then follow up with the Circular effect, dumping Sigma from deck, summoning itself out. Then using Alimbertion to tribute itself to summon Sigma. Triggering Circular to search Super Factorial. This is basically the same thing as keeping the Exceeds on the field since we don't have 3 names to summon Super Factorial, but it gets it out of deck and a Sigma engrave for follow-up. I link Sigma and Lingaribo into Splash Mage, then use Splash Mage to summon back Alimbertion before using them to summon Transcode. Transcode effect to summon back Splash Mage, and Circular into Heat Soul. Heat Soul effect to go ahead and draw Imperm, and while it's not an extender, it's still a really good draw. I set 3 and pass to my opponent. They draw, and I notice they are on 60 cards. Watch out for grass. A Heat Soul effect, drawing Code Generator, and they start out with Thunder Dragon for Thunder Dragon. No problems there. They then normal summon Diviner and use its effect, to which I chain Imperm. Hopefully I don't have to use an Ash before they try to grass, but on resolution, they reveal they have Chaos Space, and I decide to go ahead and challenge them. They don't have grass. I decide to play around what I know they have, and I'll ash this. Please don't have grass, please don't have grass, please don't have grass, and end phase. They really don't have it. Alright. I go ahead and draw, and we have lethal with normal summon any monster and make access code, so they go ahead and scoop it up. So that's what we can do if we go first, but what about if we go second? Our opponent is starting off, and at the start of their main phase, they normal summon Swap Frog. Swap Frog effect to dump Ronin Totem, or specialing blue from hand. Lord, this is already looking like a disaster. Blue to search Jet, then they summon Jet, using its effect to search Sprite Starter. Overlay the Swap Frog and Sprite Blue into Gigantic Sprite. Then they use Gigantic's effect, to which I Imperm. The Imperm resolves without a problem. And then they go ahead and link Gigantic Sprite and Sprite Jet into Sprite Elf. Then use Starter for red. And then they run and Totem to summon out, which is incorrect. You're supposed to summon Swap with Elf so that you can use Swap to dump Swap, so you can do this line while still having Ronin Fuel in Graveyard, but whatever, they're the chef here. And after summoning back red with Elf, they set one and pass to us. We draw and get Mining, which is not a bad draw. We activate Mining, pitching the Signet Conflict, to which they Ash. Bummer. To that Ash, they go ahead and chain Sprite Elf, targeting Sprite Blue. And then on resolution, they summon out the blue. Signet Mining gets negated with the Ash Blossom. Then they use Sprite Blue to search Sprite Pixies for some battle protection. I go ahead and normal summon Pebble Dog, and they use red Tributing Elf to negate and destroy the Pebble Dog. That's really annoying, but we're still not dead yet. Go ahead and try Addition effect in hand, targeting the Sprite Blue to summon out. We link Addition into Linkuriboh, and then reveal Parallax Seed effect in hand is special, to which they chain Sprite Smashers, and that will be the end for us, because if they remove Linkuriboh, I can't summon Exceed because I won't have any Link arrows to summon to. I concede, as if they play Gamma Burst, it's lethal already, and even if they don't, I have basically zero follow-up. We're back, and wow, this deck's combos feel underwhelming. Its extreme Cyber Slocks are tough to do anything with, and all of its archetypal boss monsters suck. It's one of those decks that make you desperately wish we were playing a better Link deck. We've done our investigation, now let's get into the closing argument. Verdicts are the same as usual. Going by predicted and expected ranking, Law-Abiding Nursing Home Resident is below Platinum, Harmless Delinquent is Platinum, Lone Wolf is low Diamond, while Public Enemy number 1 is Diamond 1. Now, for Judgment, Golem. Some positives. It's got a lot of starters. Pebble Dog, Rock Hammer, Circular, Signet Mining, and Small World to search any of those you want. It's rare you get a hand that can't do anything. Being able to fit Math Mech cards seamlessly into your game plan is a really good bonus. Super Factorial and Dilapidation makes end boards a lot better. Finally, Update Jammer into Access Code is still as insane as ever, going second. And now for some negatives. Inboard, the Golem's cards offer are pretty underwhelming. Towers and a 2800 body, plus 1, maybe 2 bounces, and a trap negate or a counter trap if you're lucky, just isn't going to cut it. This leads to a problem. You have to play more Cybers engines to get a good end board, but MathMech already can make winning end boards on its own, so the Golem cards feel like filler in place of the greater staple count that MathMech alone could accomplish. And finally, it's actually a pretty hard deck to play. Lines are often unclear based on the engines you find in your hand, and it can be hard to know if you can get Rockhammer or Pebble Dog into rotation to your benefit. In conclusion, it's an okay Link deck. The lack of playable Golem cards and mediocre end boards make it hard to recommend this deck. Still, I think it does enough to get it into the Lone Wolf category, but just barely. Thank you for watching. If you would like more guidance on how to make this deck work from people who have played the deck more than me, I highly recommend the Golem Discord in the Archetype Repository, or the Golem channel on the Master Duel Meta Discord server. If you liked this video, consider liking and subscribing to me. Also comment below what you liked, what you think needs improvement, or tell me my list was garbage. Also, check me out on Twitter, where I follow other VTubers and Yu-Gi-Oh content, as well as post updates on my thoughts, and Twitch, where I stream Master Duel rank climbs, other Master Duel Yu-Gi-Oh content, and other games. Also, if you'd like to discuss my content or Yu-Gi-Oh in general with other like-minded people, consider joining my Discord, linked in the description. Thank you, and have a good day.